Warriors and Celtics traveled back to Boston on Tuesday, a night after Golden State's 10-point home win in Game 5. Warriors a win away from capturing their 4th title in the last 8 seasons. But the Celtics have faced 3 games with their season on the line this postseason, and they have won those games by an average of 15 per. A big mistake that a lot of people make is they skip leg day. Not us. Huh? You know what we're doing there? Tim Legler joins us on this NBA off day. And Legs, with the benefit of 24 hours to think back to Game 5 from Boston's perspective and look ahead to Game 6, if there's one thing they've got to tighten up to force a 7th game, what is it?
I would say the turnovers, Scott, have been a big factor for them. We've talked a lot about it, but when you lose the turnover battle 18-6 and you give a team that's this good offensively with this number of guys that can hurt you that many more opportunities, you're just not giving yourself a legitimate chance to win the game. So they've got to have ball security for sure in a Game 6 at home. And then I just think they need a splash game out of one of these role players. We've seen it throughout the playoffs. They certainly didn't get it the other night. Derek White, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, one of those guys has to have a 16, 18, 20-point night to help supplement what Tatum and Brown are going to give you.
And in Tatum's case, and this is perhaps nitpicking, but I don't think so. If you're an absolute superstar, you got to play like an absolute superstar to win a title, right? And if you agree with that, what would be a reasonable critique of his performance to date in the finals?
Well, I think 2 things you can look at. First, Scott, he's shooting 30% on 2-point shots. So when you look at all these games, there are a number of plays throughout the game. He is just not finishing plays at the rim the way that he did in the regular season, the way that he did in the Milwaukee series, the way we're used to seeing him finish as he's risen here to all-league status. He's got to do a better job of converting those, plain and simple. He shot decent from the perimeter, from the 3-point line, but his mid-range, and in particular his drives and finishes against a small Golden State team, has not been good enough at the basket. So I think for me, that's one, and then he just has to have a signature game. Scott, you think about it. We've played 5 games in this series. He's first team all-league. And he has not been the main topic of conversation in a good way after any of these games. So he has got to have one of those moments, and certainly no better time than getting that done on Thursday night when they desperately need it. He needs to be the focal point and the headline coming out of one of these games. And I think Game 6, if he doesn't, it'll guarantee them a chance to have a winner-take-all situation on Sunday in the Bay.
And Tim, I feel like a lot of folks just believe, whether it's Boston's being a really good team or being at home or because the league wants it, wink, wink. I think a lot of folks think there's a 7th game on Father's Day. But if Golden State is going to prove that that's not the case and they're going to win Game 6, how do they do it?
They've got to withstand gut punches. I mean, Boston that place is going to be hype. We know that. We know what their defense is capable of in that building. They've got to withstand those 8-0, 10-0 type runs in the first half. If Golden State can keep this to a 1-possession game inside 3 or 4 minutes in the 4th quarter, I think they end this thing and they win it all and they win their 4th championship in the Steph Curry era. I think Boston's best chance is you better be outside of striking distance with 3-4 minutes to go, because I think Golden State has more guys I trust down the stretch. So if you're Steve Kerr, let's keep it close, withstand those big runs, and give ourselves a chance with guys that have been in that moment before. If they can't do that, they know they've got Game 7 in their back pocket going back home.
Yeah, but that invites who knows what, right? It could turn into one of those Golden State games where no one can score and then it gets stolen in the end, man. If you're Golden State, you don't want to mess around with that. Try to end it on Thursday. Tim, you'll be here with us in D.C. then. I look forward to breaking things down and chatting with you.
Well, Molly's a witness to this, and JJ, I think you were in a segment with me when I said this months ago, and or rather weeks ago, I apologize, and I'll say it again. The Boston Celtics don't have a point guard, and that's a big problem. They don't have a floor general to set them down. They don't have a floor general to make them get into their sets. They don't have a floor general that understands the responsibility that each and every single individual on the floor has, and to make sure that they're maximizing whatever potential they may bring to the equation. They don't have that dude. They have athletes, they have scorers, they have athleticism, they have veracity, they have tenacity, particularly on the defensive end of the floor, They have those things. But they don't have that floor general that says, okay, calm down. All right, everybody, let's do this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. All right, let's get that done. They don't have that guy. And so what happens is that when you have an onslaught, a tsunami coming your way, whether it's in threes or converting, baskets in the paint or whatever, and you need somebody to control pace. You need somebody to dictate the action to some degree. They don't have that floor general. They are devoid of a floor leader. Marcus Smart is a hell of a player. We know he's the reigning defensive player of the year. We know his toughness, that pit bull persona that he walks around with is legit and it's real. But he's not a floor general. He's not having a bad series by any stretch of the imagination. But he's not a floor general. And look at how many times, JJ, that's probably why you got a haircut. It's probably why you got the crew cut. You got tired of pulling out your hair because you're watching them turn over the damn ball, making one mistake after another, whether it's Tatum or it's Brown. It's like, Brown, why are you trying to run through people all the damn time? Well, I know that you launch threes, but sometimes you go in the lane. You can elevate. You can pull up. Why are you trying to run through people? How many times has Jason Tatum, he's 6'9", for crying out loud, with incredibly broad shoulders. Why are you trying to squeeze through defenders all the time instead of just elevating and pulling up, all right? And being patient enough to get the opportunities that you want in the space that you want to take those opportunities. What are you doing? That's the problem with the Boston Celtics. And that's what we're looking at right now. And Derek White, he comes off the bench for you. You can't play 20-plus minutes, bro, and have 1 point. He's averaging 11 points in the series, okay? He had 1 point last night. Didn't hit a basket. Can't happen, okay? Can't happen. Jaylen Brown, 5 of 18. Maybe if you got to the hole more, maybe if you start waiting for 3 defenders to collapse on you and just elevate and get to the basket and draw a foul. You do stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, you're slowing down the pace, and you're getting the Warriors, even though they're an excellent team, you're forcing them to do things they may not want to do. That's the art of trying to win in the postseason. Boston's not doing that. They're just saying, we know that we're a great team. We know that we got all the tools and we have all the ability, and we're going to make you deal with that, as opposed to using this and saying, you know what? Let's make sure we focus on them doing the things that they don't want to do and making life every bit as inconvenient for them as they make for us.
Do you truly believe the Celtics are going to win another game?
Do I truly believe? So, no, I don't think they are. I'm not changing my pick.
What?
I'm not all of a sudden saying the Warriors. I'm picking the Warriors. No, I'm still picking the Celtics. But in my heart of hearts, I'm struggling here, Stephen A. I'm struggling here. I really am. The Warriors.
You are dancing, bro.
They look like the better team. They look like the better team, and they have completely flummoxed the Boston Celtics offense, especially in the half court. It's a struggle right now. It is an absolute struggle. And, we could talk about all the turnover numbers, but the Golden State Warriors just look like they figured this team out. For them to have that game last night where Steph Curry goes 0 for 9 from 3, and they still win comfortably. And if you look at the end of that third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, it was guys like Jordan Poole. It was guys like Gary Payton II. It was guys like Andrew Wiggins stepping up in the moment. Where are those guys for the Celtics? Where are they, Stephen A? I don't know. My heart is sad today. My heart is sad.
Oh, my God. You did right there, epitaph, huh? That's what you're doing. And then I let it slide when you did it in the playoffs, okay? But you're switching picks again.
I'm not switching picks. I'm sticking with the Celtics. But the question was, do I believe they're going to win?
You got to move it. Hold on. Educate me. I don't have a Duke education. That's no doubt. I'm proud of the education I received from an HBCU, Winston-Salem State. But damn it, I understand Duke is Duke. But I'm having a really tough time deciphering this. How do you pick the Celtics, but you got them losing in Game 6, which means they would lose the NBA Finals? I don't know. I mean, maybe your brilliance. I don't know, JJ Ray. How do you come up with that?
Both can be true.
How?
My official pick is still the Celtics. The question was, do I believe they're going to win? And the answer to that is no.
Just a little bit of hypocrisy. It's all good, though.
Oh, my Lord. Hilarious. Listen, here's the deal. I don't blame you one bit. I ain't going to get on you too hard about it, man. I don't blame you. I got the Warriors winning this in 7. I still believe that the Boston Celtics will go back to Boston Thursday night and win this, and then the Golden State Warriors will come back home and close it out because the Golden State Warriors are perfectly capable of wetting the bed. Let's take last night into consideration here. The Golden State Warriors escaped. Let's call that what it is. Now, they deserve all the credit in the world for the way they defended against Boston. There is no doubt about that. Holding Jason Tatum to 1 of 5 shooting in the fourth quarter, although he only committed 1 turnover in the fourth for crying out loud. Jaylen Brown couldn't find his shot all night long. Certainly couldn't hit from 3. It was like 0 for 5 from three-point range. But let's take into account what the Golden State Warriors endured. Andrew Wiggins was absolutely sensational. It was the best game of his career. I don't think anybody would doubt that. And we're not talking about numbers because we know he scored more than 26 before. But the manner in which he played, the way he put his head down and attacked the basket, the way he defended against Jason Tatum late, particularly in the fourth quarter, Andrew Wiggins was the MVP of last night's game. It ain't even close. There is no doubt about it. And he made big play after big play, and he deserves a lot of credit. The Golden State Warriors collectively shot the rest of their, outside of Klay Thompson and his 5 threes that were pivotal. The starters combined to shoot 0 for 19 from three-point range. Steph Curry himself was 0 for 9, the first time in the last, 132 games, postseason games where he had at least 1 three-pointer. And last night that came to an end, so you can expect him to make amends for that come Thursday night. But when you look at how the Golden State Warriors struggled, particularly in the third quarter when Boston came out and scored 10 straight and ultimately had their way in that third quarter before the last 80 seconds or so. You got to look at Boston and say they had an opportunity to win this game. And if that were to happen again in Boston, would they win that game? I'd say yes. So again, I'm going with my prediction of Golden State winning in 7. But I'm not ruling out the possibility that Boston could go back to Boston at TD Bank Garden for Game 6 and close this out, no matter how befuddled, no matter how flummoxed, to use your word, no matter how discombobulated they appear. It's still a 3-2 series, and I can see the Boston Celtics winning Thursday night and then losing Sunday night. That's where I'm at with it. I know they could lose, but I can still see them winning this game, Game 6. I really do.